Isn't that right?
Major General Beale.
What is up, my fellow zombies? If you've been a big fan of the original Walking Dead series, you know that starting from Season 1, Rick Grimes has always dealt with many villains, from the most popular, ruthless Negan to the Governor, and our garbage picker, Jadis, no pun intended, but who the hell is Major General Beale, and why he's the biggest villain Rick has ever to deal with, and how it will determine whether or not he gets to see his children again? Well, let's see what the hype about Major General Beale is all about. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin.
You asked me how we won, how we survived. How did you survive?
Major General Beale is no ordinary villain. The creators of The Walking Dead, The Ones Who Live, have well portrayed in the series trailer and in Episode 1 and how Major General Beale is the greatest and the most intelligent, strategic villain Rick has to deal with. We also see Michonne and Jadis from the original Walking Dead series and many new interesting characters like Nat from Episode 2, who has won many people's hearts with his extraordinary ability to create things, and Pearl Thorne, who rather seems miserable and depressed, as she works in the Civic Republic military with Rick Grimes, and the most talked about Major General Beale. For the viewers, it is going to be a treat as it shows how challenging it would be for Rick. But if you don't know who General Beale is in the series, Terry O'Quinn, the actor who plays the role of General Beale, is the leader of the CRM group, Civil Republic Military, and the best part about the CRM is the facilities such as food, water, and everything you name it, even air conditioner, which in the original series was considered a luxury. He holds the highest power in the CRM, which gives him the authority to do whatever he wants, pretty much. And in case you didn't notice, General Beale is intelligent, just like the Governor from Season 2 and the most famous Negan, who debuted in Season 6 of the original series. General Beale is ruthless as he caused the death of more than 100,000 people and wiped out the entire city of Omaha and the campus colony. Furthermore, he is the type of leader that people fear and respect. We also get a glimpse of his leadership style in the trailer of The Ones Who Live, when he asks Rick, do you want to kill or want to die? Seems like the only two options given to people that he finds. But one difference you'll notice throughout the series and in the recent episodes is how General Beale is quite unique among the other villains Rick has dealt with. We can see that General Beale never makes his people feel inferior like the Governor or Negan did in the original series. Maybe General Beale does this to show that he's the boss and isn't someone you can mess with. He is a mysterious figure who has heard much but never seen. But how strategic is General Beale and how is he planning to break Rick to get him on the CRM side? Let's uncover everything.
Why are you here? Do you want to kill? To die?
General Beale's background. We only have little information about General Beale before the zombies took over the world or the apocalypse, but we know that he was a U.S. military officer and was a two-time Vietnam veteran, and before the outbreak he had a son, Mason Beale. It would be interesting if they decide to introduce his son as well on The Ones Who Live. What do you guys think? Only time will tell. Now, if you feel like General Beale looks familiar, you're absolutely right. He acted in the infamous show Lost, which people absolutely loved. We also see the story of him and his son Mason Beale in The Walking Dead: The World Beyond. Suppose we do see Mason in The Ones Who Live, will Rick take advantage of him or use him as leverage to get out of the place? We can be certain that The Ones Who Live can have a lot of twists and subplots, which I hope it does. And I also want it to be more challenging for Rick as it makes the story more fun. Would you guys agree? Because Rick always seems to get what he wants, and maybe this time it could be different. We have to note here that killing wasn't a new thing for General Beale. And like the rest of the characters in the series, as he was in the military, it explains how he became the leader of the Civic Republic military and how General Beale was able to keep people under his wings. There's also a theory that CRM was put in place in case the actual government fell off. Post-outbreak, General Beale and the Pennsylvania National Guard, with the help of the U.S. Air Force and the military, were able to guard and defend Pennsylvania from the undead and federal forces, which General Beale calls as quote and unquote monstrous in Episode 1 of The Ones Who Live. General Beale was elevated to the rank of Major General, and his power was essentially explained by the transformation of Philadelphia into the Civic Republic of Philadelphia and the Pennsylvania National Guard into the CRM. But what is the motive of General Beale? His motive is to take over the United States by eliminating all the other communities by any means possible, and to protect his place at all costs, and his choice of weapon, bio-war. Beale's ruthless methods. We witnessed General Beale's response to possible threats in The Ones Who Live Episode 2, when Michonne and her group Nat, Aiden, Bailey, and the other members of the L community walk through what appears to be a deserted city to locate Rick. The innocent peoples are instantly killed by the CRM's helicopter bombing. This causes people to turn into zombies as they are dead in an instant. We can also see General Beale's cruel experiments with people using the A and B systems that determines if the subject is going to live or not. Whether if the subject is A, the subject is likely to be killed because they just don't want people to have qualities such as being strong or leader, as it may pose a threat to the CRM. As far as B, there isn't any specific criteria, but one possibility is that they are most likely to be recruited as soldiers as they are moldable and less rebellious. But we damn sure know Rick isn't the one to mold.
He was with their Air Force. He was supposed to bomb the city, but instead, he bombed 4,000 Marines, staging at Lincoln Financial Field.
Major General Beale's strategy for Rick. In The Walking Dead World Beyond, if you haven't seen it, Jadis discusses how she made a deal with the CRM to give Rick to them in return for a place for her in the Civic Republic. Yep, she actually made a deal. She never disappoints to amuse me, a survivor indeed. And this is how Rick finds himself within the CRM. And if you have watched the original series, which I hope you did, you are aware that Rick has always been dealt with by the enemies in the same fashion throughout each season. The villains always threaten to destroy Rick's people, his family, and his resources, but the never giving up Rick finds a way to destroy the villains and protect his family. But it's a different approach by General Beale that gives us a first glance at how he will be dealing with the CRM or our boy Rick. In Season 9, Rick was abducted by a helicopter from the group CRM. Since then, despite killing thousands of walkers, he has refused to join the CRM. A hypocrite? I don't think so. General Beale wants Rick on his side, and as he sees the potential in him and sees how Rick is loyal to his kids and home, which makes Beale admire Rick. Nonetheless, you know how adamant Rick can be. It's tried multiple times to escape the CRM, refusing to take General Beale's side. Realizing this, General Beale puts him through all the trials and tribulations in the series to break Rick. This shows how Beale knows his stuff and maybe used his methods, which were taught in the military when the world was functioning normally. And since he has a whole CRM group under his control and resources that Rick will never be able to match with, it will only be more challenging and complex for Rick. But General Beale also looks like a reasonable person. In Episode 1, we see that glimpse of his personality when he's having a conversation with Rick, asking about his past stories from Atlanta and how Rick had survived. General Beale just wants to protect the CRM, which makes him want to do things that he does for safety.
Is Okafor up to anything I should know about? No.
Conclusion. Well, in conclusion, even though Major General Beale does what is right for his people and for the CRM, the methods and how extreme he is willing to go is what makes him very different from all the other villains Rick has come across. Will Rick be able to put up an act and fool General Beale and escape from the place, or will he create a bond with Beale? We can also see how this could be a major problem for Michonne and Rick as they want to escape the CRM. As always, if you like the content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.